Hi folks, how you all doing? My name's Mann. I don't know if you can see or hear me yet. Nothing's kicked in for me. So yeah, maybe I'm just crazy streaming to myself at the moment. Wait, well, there we go. I've got something right now. If anyone is there, I have no idea. Apparently 3 people are watching. Hi guys, let me know if you're there. This is my first stream in a long time. So, and Google Chrome has decided to send me a load of pop-ups. Thanks for that, Google Chrome. I wish I could figure out how to turn those off. Great. I don't know how much lag there is. Hi guys, how you all doing? It's nice to be back. Hopefully I will be doing a lot of live streaming in the future. I have finally got decent broadband where I live. It's been really slow. But I do want to start doing a lot more streaming. Hi Ian, hi Eric, hi Paul, how you doing guys? So yeah, I will be doing a lot more live streaming. Can you guys actually hear me? Please somebody say yes, just so I actually know. This for me is the first time, yeah, I am actually live. So yeah, please just somebody let me know in the comments, in the chat, that you can hear me. I'm deadly worried about this. I will eventually start drawing. But yeah, I just need to know that somebody can hear me in some way, shape or form. Ah, good. Thank you for that, Eric. It's just one of those things that this is a new piece of streaming software. I was using OBS before, and while that was good, I thought I'd upgrade and actually go for something which was actually paid, just to see what the quality difference was. Aaron Rutten, who you know I've streamed with before, I got into a lazy rut where I was just kind of streaming with him because he's experienced at streaming and that was great. But while it's great for his channel, is it good for my channel? Probably not doing me any favours. I mean, it's doing me favours, but I'd be better off streaming on my own channel. So I decided to bite the bullet and actually jump in. And I think the first 5 minutes of streaming is always going to be the most terrifying. So yeah, this is kind of getting this out of the way. And as long as I know you guys can see and hear me, then that's the main problem. My first stream is always going to be the most terrifying anyway. And this coming from a tech YouTuber. So yeah. Wow, look at that for a lovely orange skin colour. That's quite hilarious. That's a bit better. But yeah, so I've been kind of putting this off for a while because I've been a bit terrified of this. But yeah, so as long as you guys can see and hear me, that's fine then. I know I can start doing a lot more of these streams in the future. What I want to do is get this to like 1 a week or maybe more if it starts going well. And you know, I kind of answer every comment on my videos, and that's absolutely great. But if I can start doing live streams, you know, I'm waiting on that Wacom 32 Cintiq Pro, and what I'd really like to do is get that in, do a full review of that, you know, churn out a fair few videos on that, but also do kind of a live Q&A session so you guys can ask me kind of all kinds of questions on that. That'd be pretty awesome. I think everybody would enjoy that. Oops, a little bit of lag here in Photoshop. Now that lag could be down to the fact that I'm live streaming as well. Your Yetkin is saying, yeah, your Wacom pen is scrolling instead of drawing. Any ideas? Yes, I do know a lot about this. Aaron has put up a good video about this. I was going to make a video on this, but kind of I filmed it and I was about to edit it and then didn't, because Aaron just brought out a video which explained it perfectly. So check out Aaron Rutten's channel for the perfect explanation of this. Basically what's happened is Microsoft have released an update that kind of really screws over everybody using a Wacom tablet. It only affected certain people, it didn't affect everybody. But yeah, basically what happens is, and just as I said this, my tablet stops working on me. I'm not sure what's going on. Why's my tablet stop working on me? Oh no, oh dear. What happened, I'll finish the story. What's happened is that Microsoft have brought out some software updates, and it basically interferes with the way that Photoshop and the Wacom pen works together. So it will scroll you up and down and side to side rather than being able to draw. There's a quick fix to it though. It takes about 5 minutes to do. Aaron has a fix, you know, on this that will walk you through it stage by stage. So yeah, go check out his channel, and he has that repair on there. It's a little bit fiddly. It just involves you writing a little rich text document and then putting it into a certain folder on your computer. But it's easy enough to do. So yeah, take about 5 minutes and it'll repair it. Otherwise you'll spend kind of, you know, about 2 hours trying to Google search the answer to this, which is an absolute nightmare. I did think about doing a video to it, but I thought it's absolutely pointless. Both of us having the video up there that was very, very similar. So hopefully that helps. Right, now I'm having an absolute nightmare with the fact that my Wacom pen won't work. This is me drawing with my finger. Hang on a split second. Nope. What has happened here? I don't know. Ha 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 ha. Photoshop crash. Happens to the best of us and the worst of us. I love this. It's going great. My first stream in like a year, I think. Stay with me, guys. So yeah, let me know what tech are you guys using at the moment. Hopefully something better than me. I don't know what this is going on. I've unhooked everything, so hopefully, you know, I shouldn't be having big problems. But let me see if... No! I have no idea what's going on here or why this isn't working. Been drawing fine all day. Then I come to actually do a live stream, and it's not letting me do this at all. I am really, really sorry, guys. I was really hoping for a good first stream, and this has really messed it up. I could just sit and chat to you, but I don't know what to do, whether to do that or... Yeah, so maybe I'll just sit and chat to you for a bit. Let me know in the comments. Let me switch over to the comments here. Yeah, so I'm going to pull the comments over here and just chat to you for a bit. I'm really sorry about that. I have no idea what happened. My Wacom stylus just stopped working on me. I don't think it was the stylus itself. There's been a few bugs since Microsoft, updated its stylus, and it's no fault of Wacom. I know Wacom get a lot of crap for their drivers and that, but this was Microsoft buggering around with their Windows Ink stuff. And ever since Microsoft brought out its Surface line, and had ever since they bought Entrig, we've had a lot of problems, because Microsoft basically has this line of, well, we have our own stylus now, so we're going to play with the stylus technology all we want, and we're going to mess around with drivers, so anybody else who has stylus technology, if it messes with their drivers, then who cares? So yeah, all the other stylus companies, are constantly battling with driver issues. Obviously Wacom being the biggest, kind of get the most abuse for their drivers, but it happens to everybody who makes styluses and uses them on a Windows basis. Hi, Scamp. But yeah, this happens a lot. Sorry, I'm not drawing to anybody who's just joined it. But yeah, this is what happens, so we all face issues with that. Just tried my stylus again to see if it would crack in. I think I'd have to restart my computer and it'd just work fine. So I can do that. If you want me to do that, I will do that. Let me know in the comments. But that's basically the upshot of it. That, these things kind of happen, and it could be the fact that Microsoft have responded to bugs. Hey, Drumult. Microsoft have responded to bugs with their Surface line, and it's just thrown everybody else out. I don't see what bugs they could have really responded to, but then again, it could have been anything. Microsoft just love to tinker with their ink software. But they haven't really been changing too much stylus wise, so. But it doesn't, realistically, I don't think they should have been changing too much, knowing how many other people depend on that kind of technology. But they love to do it. But yeah, other people, other companies seem to take a lot of rap for that. I mean, Wacom have always had driver issues anyway, despite that. But it doesn't help. Doesn't help me at the moment when I want to come and draw. Ever since that issue, I had the problem with the side-scrolling thing, and it really threw me for a loop. I was straight onto Google, kind of like, what is this issue? And I was looking through everything, and it took me about an hour and a half to find something, because the first couple of solutions that I found were just did not work for me. So I wasn't one of those people who got the easy fix. Oh, my health. My back's okay if I keep incredibly still. For the first couple of hours of the day, I'm like a little old man. I shuffle around and I'm hunched over. After that, I'm generally okay. Obviously, I can't lift anything. I am literally, it's like being a 70-year-old. But other than that, I'm not, I just count myself lucky. I could have, I could have been in a wheelchair. So, I didn't want to bring it up on the channel unless it was relevant. But in the same way that I don't hoist my kid in front of the camera. Like some people have family channels and show their kids off. And I don't want my son turning around, like, becoming Macaulay Culkin in like 20 years, I'm not so private about my family life, but I just don't see the need to show it off unless it's relevant. Like, I have drawn my kid a few times, but I don't show him off on camera. And unless something's relevant, I don't talk about it. So it's the same with my back. It's relevant for that video, but so for me, yeah, my back's. I think it's gonna. At first, I thought it was gonna be like, oh, 2 weeks and I'll be fine, and then yeah, I realised I'm actually getting a bit worse and not a bit better. So I just need to see a specialist, like a serious specialist, and see what I need to do about it. But you know, a good ergonomic chair and the Ergotron arms and the standing mat, and yeah, it's all helping. It's all helping. Let me see what else I've got in the chat. Do you think Microsoft entering a serious stylus game could push the border? Could push a broader and more comprehensive driver standard. It could, but it could also damage it in the fact that it could force everybody to kind of adhere to their standards, and that could be dangerous. Now, we have heard talk of this universal stylus, the unicorn, being the fact that, you know, everybody's going to work on it and it's going to work on everybody's device. Could you imagine one stylus that works perfectly on the iPad, on the Wacom tablet, you know, on every and all device? It sounds lovely, but I mentioned it to a couple of people in the industry and everybody went, oh yeah, it's being worked on. But everybody had this kind of smile when they said it, like, yeah, people are talking about it in the industry, but it'll be like 5 minutes before everybody starts rowing and nobody will touch you with a barge pole again. That's the kind of impression I got. I think it's a beautiful idea, but it's like, so's world peace. Everybody who's working on it, but it's yeah, it's like Ethiopia. People give millions, you know, to starving kids every year, and it looks like there's more starving kids now than there were, you know, 30 years ago when I was a boy. So yeah, I don't think a unified driver system for styluses is ever gonna actually be a thing. I think if anything, we're gonna, in another 10 years, we're probably gonna have a different couple of OSs floating around. You know, Apple just came out and said they're not going to crush macOS and iOS into one thing, which I've long presumed that they were going to do. I think they were going to do it. I think they've just decided not to now. But I think Google are going to turn around and go, we're making hardware seriously now, and here's an OS. So yeah, I think Google are going to go seriously down the OS path. You know, and I think we'll likely have an OS from another company, like, you know, just some random company. You know, Facebook's getting its ass sued off, so they decide to bring out an OS. That'd be hilarious. Yeah, weird, but I think something like that could easily happen. Just some random third party or somebody we know and didn't expect it from, like Facebook. So I hope I didn't just give them my idea. That was some kind of Genesis moment for Terminator. Cyberdyne OS. Yeah, that's what else we got. Oh, I'm gonna find a mouse. So weird, I didn't have a mouse and keyboard for 10 years at one point. Yeah, and then I bought the cheapest keyboard I could find. Now I've got this little Dell thing, it's pretty good. Still weird using a proper keyboard. I just used to use the on-screen keyboard. I was wondering what your updated thoughts were on the Microsoft Surface Book. Surface Book 2 right here. It's been here for about 2 weeks-ish. I'm filming a load of videos at the moment on this. I've got a Surface Book 1 around here somewhere, and a Surface Book 1 with performance base as well. So yeah, I'm doing a load of videos. The Surface Book 1 and Surface Book 1 with performance base are mine. The Surface Book 2 is on loan from Microsoft, though they sent me the 13-inch, not the 15-inch. Yeah, I won't say too much because obviously I'm spoiling the whole point of my review, aren't I? But needless to say, Yeah, I'm also going to be doing a video called "Where is the Surface brand going?" Yeah. I love Microsoft. I love the Surface brand. I have questions now. I just, to me, the Surface brand was a wonderful experiment, much like Disneyland. And now Disneyland is kind of a park that makes money instead of a wonderful experiment. And I think the Surface brand has gone the same way. Are they just going to keep churning out, you know, Surface Book 3, Surface Book 4 that just look identical but with slight spec upgrades? So, yeah. It depends what you want it for. I'll do a full review. But I really want to know about the whole range rather than just the Surface Books now. I've got some questions about the brand. But as for the machine itself, check out my review. I wasn't going to smoke on my live stream, vape on my live stream, but since the whole drawing thing's gone, it's gone to pot. You know, ask what you want. Let's just vape and talk poop. You know, I'll come back and do the serious drawing live stream later. PS says, I won't try and pronounce your last name, PS, sorry. Lesur? I tried. Says he's having the same problem as well with his stylus, with his Intuos Pro. Yeah, again, Aaron has a great little video on that, and yeah, really, that does work. You know, it was basically the same way that I got mine working, and you might have to, if you can't find your folder on your computer by following the instructions that he lays down, do a search on your computer for that folder or for words, you know, for specific words. Do a search and you'll be able to find it, because, you know, you have to find, I can't remember what the folder's called, but it's like Adobe Photoshop something settings, and if you try searching for, you know, parts of that, then you'll find the folder. So it's quite easy to solve the problem once you watch that step by step. You might have to kind of re-watch parts of it and, you know, keep pausing it, but it's a lot easier than having to kind of search for that. And that's Aaron Rutten's channel. So if you don't know who he is, yeah, I'll put his name here in the search, in the comments. There you go. Yeah, I've just bobbed his name down there. So yeah, you can find him, and he's got a video on fixing that on there. And like I say, that was down to Microsoft running their update. I'm glad to see you going for the mobile studio, Ian. The 16-inch screen, that's why I love it so much. That, and it's a matte screen. For me, it's powerful enough to do everything I need to do on the go. I even did some video editing on a plane. Alright, it wasn't, you know, I wasn't editing a movie, but I was doing a bit of YouTube video editing while I was sat on a plane, and that, to me, most mobile tablets can't do that. So I was really happy with that. But it's one of the best drawing experiences you'll get. I don't like gloss screens. I don't like anything small. To me, you know, a lot of drawing tablets, a lot of mobile things that you can use for drawing should be bigger. You know, the iPad Pro, I'd love to see a bigger version of that, like a 16-inch version of that. That for me would be great. Monochrome Moose asks, does training in traditional mediums help with traditional painting? Help with digital painting? Yes, it does. Traditional painting techniques do help with digital painting. Digital painting, for a large amount, tries to replicate traditional techniques. Now, you get applications like Painter that will try to stick closely to traditional painting, but then it also kind of goes around the corner and does a lot of different things as well, like particle brushes. But its roots come from traditional brushes. They all do. But a lot of artists today have no traditional background at all. My training was all traditional because back then computers were crap and digital art just wasn't really a thing. My first drawing tablet was 2 inches by 2 inches and there was no screen, obviously. It was that big and it was rubbish, but I thought it was the best thing on earth because I'd never seen a drawing tablet before. I used to spend 2 hours drawing little faces in Microsoft Paint in my computer studies room at school, and when it was done I couldn't save them, so they just used to be deleted, and I'd leave happy because I'd drawn something good. If I got a printout of it, then brilliant, but they just used to be deleted, and I'd go away and come back remembering what I'd drawn and try and draw it again better the next day. And this was kind of either on lunch break or after school, because I shouldn't have been in there. Other than doing that, I used to go into the art room and draw. In fact, when I was at school, my art teacher, who was the head of the department, used to come into whatever class I was in and pull me out of the class to sit me in the art room when they were bringing people around the school, like governors and important people around the school. They used to take me out and put me in the art room so that when the governors came around the art department, they'd be like, oh, and this is one of our students, and you know, see his drawing there. Random, but yeah. So whenever the art teacher used to come into the classroom and I was sat there doing maths or whatever, all the other kids used to go, your boyfriend's here. That's really embarrassing and awful. But yeah, digital art wasn't really a thing when I was at school. And when I first went to college, it was still traditional. Digital art was like, I even have a play and practice and stuff, but and that's when I first got my hands on Photoshop. I got my hands on Corel Paint before I got my hands on Photoshop. But there were still things to have a play around and experiment in. You know, I was doing life studies and things like that long before I was doing digital art. But I think traditional techniques are a must. I don't draw traditionally now because I literally got sick of waiting for the paint to dry. And you know, I'd rather have a paperless office. You know, it's easier to keep a studio clean. It's environmentally maybe a bit better because you've got to have a computer either way. Yeah, but I think the techniques are definitely worth knowing. But if you're talking about an actual education, my son is going to be 3 soon. I would not recommend that he ever go to university. because I think universities are an absolute rip-off. I think they're overly expensive. I think you don't get one-on-one tuition. I think they're an outdated mode of education. You know, I think YouTube provides a lot of the education that you need these days. And I think that other than that, you know, you can hire a one-on-one tutor to teach you most anything you know. So, you know, I've even been thinking about offering tuition myself. I don't know. Let me know if that's something that's you think is a good idea, if you think that's mildly interesting. But yeah, so I think traditional painting techniques are very important. I think, but then again, I just think that anything and everything you can learn is important. You know, the more you teach yourself, the better experience you'll have. And I mean, the point of being an artist is just knowing as much as possible and being able to experience everything and just put it down. So yeah, just the more experience the better. And that goes for everything, for life in general. The amount of times that I've seen something and thought, that's good, I'll put that in, even years later. Or the amount of times I've drawn with something and thought, that's odd, the texture of that, you know. Or I've done something, you know, on a computer, but it's got nothing to do with art, and it's inspired me in some way. So yeah, just the more experiences in general. That's all I'm saying. Bit long-winded. Rescamp says a stylus standard would be good, but it would have to be hardware and software dependent. Again, that's going back to the idea of a unified stylus. And again, I think that even if you could get everybody to work on it, I think those conversations would just break down after the first 5 minutes. Even if everybody did fall in love, that would be a rocky marriage. Ian says if all else fails, we can go for Mac or Linux. Yeah. If Apple can get Mac working again. Oh no. Mac's kind of fallen on its knees for me. It's on hard times. I think they're in so much denial about so many things. They haven't even got pen and touch. They've got the iPad and that's it. You know. If they'd have on the brand new Mac Pro given us pen and touch, on the MacBook Pro given us pen and touch, nah. I saw that touch bar, I had to laugh and walked away. No. Unless they come back with a new, you know, unless they launched everything new in 2020 and went pen and touch on everything. Yeah, count me out. I'm not saying I won't, you know, I'm not saying I won't come back to these guys, but they have to give us the goods. And those little things like, oh yeah, we're slowing down your phones and things like that, it's not helping their cause any. By the way, if you guys want us, because this is my first live stream in a while, so you know, obviously most people don't know that I'm even doing this. If you guys want to tweet this out, let people know that I'm here, post a message on Facebook, anything like that, that would be very well appreciated. Thank you. You know, let everybody know, join in the conversation. That would be absolutely awesome. I'd love it if you'd take 2 minutes to just push that message out there for me. You know, just call in all your friends, send some texts out. Toast Tots said, "What am I drinking?" That's cruel. That's very cruel. If you can see this, it's my own urine. I'm joking. It's just water, and I've put a vitamin D tablet in it because of my back injury. It's not urine. I'm joking. Stephanie says she recently bought a Surface Book 1, and when she received it, it had defective batteries. No, I haven't had those problems, but I have heard of these problems. However, I don't know how often this occurs, but I can tell you that every device with batteries in it has these problems. You know, I don't know if it's a 1 in a million thing or whether it's quite common, whether it's a particular batch. All I can say is that I never judge a company by its faults. I judge a company by how quickly it responds to its faults. You know, every company that sells a product with batteries in has these faults. Samsung exploding batteries. That's the only issue. But yeah, actually saying about that, Samsung exploding phones. Now here is a thing. Samsung's Note 7 had exploding phones because of its batteries. However, I still grabbed myself a Note 8. Why? Because of the way that Samsung dealt with that issue. Which is my point here. They dealt with the issue properly. They got off their ass quickly and made a decent phone with a good battery in it. A smaller battery. So, because they didn't want the same issues again, and they looked after the problem. And that's what it's about. It's about a company taking care of the problem properly. If you go back to Microsoft and say, hey, this is defective, and they say, sorry about that, send it back, we'll send you a new one straight away. Boom, no trouble, it's done, then you're happy. But if they mess you around, then that's a bad company. So it's not so much about the problem, it's about how they deal with it. That's in my mind, because I don't like to whinge about things. I like to be positive. I'm naturally a very negative guy. I could bitch for the best of them. If I had my channel based around how negative and super bitchy I am, I would be one of those guys with like 200, 300,000 subs. Easy. I could be that guy. But I try to be like the positive zen me. Just because I know otherwise I'd have a heart attack in about a year's time. But yeah, I just try and focus on how well the company deals with the issue. Yeah. I'm glad you found the video, Piers. Monochrome says he's thinking of going to what? I'm not even going to try and pronounce that second word. But it's a traditional training school in the US. Well, if you're thinking of going to a traditional art school, you must want to be a traditional artist. They're probably going to talk so much crap about digital art. They'll probably be like... I don't know why, I'm just considering that they have like all French accents because they're a traditional art school. Like, sorry, Piers is going to hate me now, but they'll be like, digital art is poop. I don't know why, but yeah, they'll be trash talking. They'll be trash talking digital art. Like, oh yeah, digital art. Pfft, those fools, they don't know what they're doing. But I mean, digital art and traditional art are two different skill sets. I know traditional artists who can't, who can't draw on a tablet for their lives, and I know digital artists who can't hold a paintbrush. But it's like 3D art. I'm starting to teach myself, but I haven't really thrown myself in yet. I know 3D artists who can't do 2D art. I know 2D artists who can't do 3D art. It's a whole bunch of different skill sets. Some people can never do it. So you really have to teach yourself. The skill sets are transferable in a way that knowing one will help you with the other. And, you know, there's definitely some crossover points. But I don't know why there's a big rivalry. I think it's because, you know, client bases cross over. Also the fact that in galleries for the most part will only take traditional art. And as a digital artist, I think that sucks. So I go into a gallery and I'm like, that's rubbish. I'm better than that. I should be in here. But because I'm not traditional, I can't be. That's stupid. That art sucks. I don't hate it because it's traditional, I just hate it because it's a second piece of artwork. But that happens all the time. But there is a real rivalry. And, yeah. I don't know how I got on that. Yeah, but going to a traditional art school for digital art, I mean, yeah. If a traditional art is teaching digital art as kind of a side thing, that would be kind of cool. I don't know if there's any crossover there. If you're just teaching us stuff digital on the side, that would be good also. I don't know. It's interesting. It's way cheaper than SCAD or CalArts. Yeah, I imagine CalArts is really expensive. But I mean, it's so well known. They both are. Hey everybody. Stephanie says Microsoft is sending a replacement. And that's good to hear. I mean, they've always been good when I talk to them. My only trouble is that I discovered one thing, which is Microsoft UK and Microsoft US are two separate entities. You know, if you've got something from Microsoft US and you want to return it to Microsoft UK, you may as well be talking to Apple. That's the one thing I discovered. Never buy something from one company, from one country, and try and return it in another. Boom. I mean, that's pretty much the same. That's not just Microsoft, but that's the same with all companies. You know, that's the same with Apple, I suppose. That's the same with, you know, Asus, Lenovo, Dell, all these companies. You know, that's why I would never say buy tech when you're on holiday, even if it's a bit cheaper, because you are going to have massive support problems. Because they're like, oh yeah, sure, we'll help you out. What's your reference? You know, what's your reference code? What's your, you know, receipt number and all this? And they're like, huh? Where did you buy this? Oh, you have to ring them. And then you're like, okay, I'll ring them. And then you ring them, and they're like, yeah, we'll help you. What's your reference number, receipt number? Yeah, we'll help you. Yeah, not a problem. Yeah, we've got that one. It's all fine. Yeah. Let's help you out here. What's your address? Oh no, you got to ring the UK team. So you ring the UK team again, and then they go, oh no, you bought this in America, so you got to ring the America team. It's like, oh, infinite loop. So yeah, never buy tech abroad. Something I learned. Okay, let's have a look what else we've got. I'm glad you're getting it sorted though, Stephanie. I really am. And again, guys, sorry I'm not drawing. Yeah. Bang. I would have to do a hard restart. Oh, you actually bought this from a third party and then they wouldn't... Yeah, yeah, I can understand that. iCred is asking about the adapter from Ergotron. Yes, there is news on it. I've made a video. The video is uploaded to YouTube and it's just sat there in private. As I said before in my other video, it's just going to sit there until I get the all clear to unleash that video. I can click public on it as soon as I get the all clear. I can't give you any of that information. I can't tell you anything about it. I can't let you see the video until somebody says release the hounds. Sorry about that, but that's just the way it is. I've got the release dates, I've got the prices, I've got the pictures. They're all in that video. Nothing I can do until somebody says. Last Friday I sent an email saying to a couple of people, can I release it this weekend? Can I release it this weekend? Really love to get it out before the weekend. No. This Friday I sent an email, same thing. Can I release it? Can I release it? Can I release it? Can I release it? No. And I'd love to release it any day, but a weekend would obviously be better. But yeah, again, I've also got some other news on other stuff, but I have information on other stuff as well, but it's just like, and then I find out somebody else releases that news, and I'm like, ah! And there's nothing I can do, or I find out it leaks through from somewhere else. And yeah, nothing I can do about it. But you know, I think sometimes, you know, people just leak stuff out because they know they can't get in trouble. But I like to be a bit more official about it. And I don't release anything unless I know it's been verified. You know, like dates especially. I don't want to give you a release date on something unless I know it's the truth. Because dates get pushed back a lot. So I don't want to tell you something like, oh, something's going to be June, and then it gets pushed back to August. So, do you know what I mean? I wouldn't give you a date or something unless I knew it'd been verified, which is why I don't leak information. So yeah. But I will tell you that the adapter is looking good. It's looking sweet. I love, you know, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's definitely worth waiting for. So, I mean, yeah. And I brought out that video before that I know some people were worried was a bit scaremongery. But I just had to give out my honest opinion about the fact that I was seriously concerned that somebody would damage their brand new, you know, Cintiq Pro. And given what I already knew, that another good adapter was on the way, yeah, don't risk it. Don't rush out and buy something when a decent one is on its way. So yeah, hold on. One's come in. I know it's sucky that I can't give you the news right now, and I don't even understand why I can't give you this news right now, but it is on its way. Let me just read this response. Oh, we'll see you later, Ian. Have a good time. You're not even got the tablet yet. I thought you were like sat there drawing, like hurting yourself, going, I need this, I need this. Where are you, iCred? What country are you in? I'm sure if you can manage to get a Wacom, and if you can manage to get an Ergotron arm, then I'm sure you'll manage to get the adapter. Either way, it's not bigger than a Wacom or an Ergotron arm, so postage on it isn't going to be ridiculously big. Even, you know, it's a shame that you can't just bolt this thing, Romania. So you're still mainland Europe. Yeah, I think you'll be fine. I don't know what postage is like to your area, to be fair. But yeah, I think you'll be fine. You know, yeah. I think it sucks that I can't give you this information. I really wish I could. But yeah, I mean, I think you'll be alright. It does suck that you can't just attach your Wacom to the Ergotron. But I mean, at least there's a reason for it. You know, it's because of the engine and, you know, the space there for that. If Wacom would have just changed the VESA arrangement for no good reason, even I'd have been angry at that. But, you know, having tried the Cintiq Pro 24 and 32, yeah, I'm very happy with them. And they both look absolutely great. I have to go for the 32 though, because I'm using the 27. And for me, it's kind of like, I can't go down in size. I can't go down in size. I need to go bigger in size. It would just seem really, really weird. Darren says, I may want to look at the Something gallery. There's your digital artist work, comics, cinema and video, games masterpieces. Yeah, message me a link to that. I'll take a look. Yeah, iCred's using a Bamboo at the moment. Yeah, it's a big upgrade for you then, 24. I'm not knocking the 24 at all. I think it's awesome. But I think once you go up, it's hard to go down. That's all. For me personally, yeah, the 32. And I think that's good. You know, how often do you get to try out both drawing tablets as well? You know, it's not as if there's a Wacom store for most people. I think there's, you know, kind of a couple of experience centers. So, you know, but for most people, we don't go and try out various tablets before we buy. So now that I've gotten to try out the 24 and 32, it's just like, yeah. And I'm sat here now looking at my 27 going, it's a bit small. I want that 32. But even when I got to try it out, it was just resting on the table. And I didn't get to try it out on an Ergotron arm. And when I made that promise to everyone of, I will try it out on an Ergotron arm, even I was thinking, I've no idea how I'm going to do this. I might have to make up some kind of VESA adapter. And at the time I was thinking, right, well, my best bet is going directly to Ergotron and saying, can you guys help me kind of rough up some kind of Ergotron adapter? So, you know, now that I know there's something official coming, then I don't have to do that anymore. But, you know, at least I had the ability to do that because I know people at Ergotron. And I know most people wouldn't have had that ability. But now, yeah, now it's all kind of coming together. So there's even kind of underground rumours of a Wacom Ergotron arm that people have been asking me about. And I can't, you know, I can't confirm or deny anything on that front. I don't even know where people are hearing those rumours from. You know, I've tried Google searching that, nothing comes up. Tried searching on Reddit, nothing comes up. So I don't know where people are getting that from. Well, iCred, if you can use Amazon to get stuff through, and postage stays quite cheap, if you don't mind paying the postage on that VESA adapter, then you'll be okay to get it. I will give you one small piece of information here. Tiny piece of information here. Yeah. a little bit that nobody else knows. The adapter isn't as big as you think it is. There you go. So postage should be quite reasonable. There you go. KR is here. How you doing? I'm useless with pronunciations, so I don't even want to. Kaijon Aya? Kaijon Aya? No, see, I don't even try really because I'm useless. Drawing, not speaking. New channel name. You have the 13-inch mobile studio. But the mobile studio's mobile, at least. If you'd have held off until you got the Cintiq Pro, then you wouldn't have had the mobility. So at least there's that. I mean, the 24-inch screen or the 32, if you'd have gone for that. Yeah. I mean, I understand the screen difference, and I always do say that screen difference is a huge thing. Keijo ni hu. Keijo ni hu. Who? It's the bit on the end that's getting me now. Keijo. No. Told you I'm useless at pronunciations. Yeah. No, I will say that my mobile studio is great for sketching on, and I can take work almost to the finished level. And once my work's finished, then I tend to do amends on the mobile studio. But doing the actual work and finishing the actual work, I kind of need a bigger tablet for. I want to do that kind of finishing work on my mobile studio, on my larger Cintiq, you know, on a 27-inch. But that's because my work's really detailed. You know, I work on A2 sizes, kind of this size here at 400 dpi, and I like to make it so you can zoom in. I mean, that's a book cover, and it's kind of, if that's the book cover, it's that much of the book cover, and you can still blow it up to that size easily, you know, so you can see reflections in her eyes and everything. That's the detail I like to work at. So 27-inch screen is ideal, because also once you've got it open, you've got all the palettes and everything in there, you're chopping down the room again. You know, you got kind of crazy palettes here, and whoops, crazy palettes here and all over here, so you've only got the room in the middle to work in. So for me, yeah, I need that bigger screen. Mobile Studio is great for doing, you know, the first sketch part in, taking it into colours, and then the men's afterwards. But yeah, so I understand why you'd want the 24. It depends on, I mean, I don't know if you're doing this professionally, but if you are, then maybe next year. I mean, it's a business expense, so it's always worth considering. Anybody else out there got any questions that they want to ask, since I can't draw at the moment? Kimmy says, I started painting with a Cintiq 22, and now I can't paint with a regular tablet anymore. I bought a small one and can't draw with it. It feels weird. Do you think it's a size thing? I think it's hand-eye coordination. You're so used to looking at what you're drawing. But think of it like a mouse. You don't look at your mouse while you use your mouse. I mean, I've been using tablets now for... If I say I've been using tablets since I was 14, I don't want to even say how old I am. But let's just say that's a lot of years. Then, yeah. I mean, you're talking 20 odd years. Yeah, I'm bad at maths. So, realistically speaking, only what? Is that 20 odd years? Yeah, almost 30 years. So, if I think about this, how many years of this has actually been? This is over 10 years that I've been using Cintiq style tablets, monitor style tablets. But yeah, I've probably used regular tablets longer than I've been using monitor style tablets. And I think of monitor style tablets as being the normal now. But I still have an Intuos here and, you know, the bamboo style Intuos as well. You know, I've got one framed on the wall there. There's a picture of it on my... oh, I'm an old man. On my... what's that website where you upload pictures and people click little hearts on them? Yeah, on there. And that threw me off. It still throws me off. I like LinkedIn. Instagram. Yeah. But yeah, monitor tablets are the normal now, but I can still switch back to using like an Intuos style tablet, and I do it now and again because it helps my neck, you know. And yeah, it is a little tougher to do if you're used to drawing on a monitor style tablet. It's not a bad thing at all. It's great to be able to just look up and draw, and I like to do it because it helps me get back in the swing of it. And I think for some styles of illustration, it's actually better. I know a lot of professionals who don't like Cintiqs, who like the more Intuos style tablets, and they tend to be the kind of either photo retouching guys, or they tend to be the people who do kind of more pattern style illustrations, you know. They tend to be those people. Comic inking people tend to like Intuos as well. People who like accuracy tend to really love them. I found more junior people, more amateur people are the ones who say, "Oh, I have to have a monitor tablet. Nothing else will do." And they tend to be very hard line about that. You know, if you suggest an Intuos to them, if you suggest an Intuos to an amateur, they'll just kind of throw the toys out of the pram and be like, "No, how dare you suggest that?" But you're talking to like an old pro who, you know, who's been a digital artist for like 20 years, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I got like an Intuos like medium like that I treat like crap, and it's great." Oh yeah, I'm not interested in a monitor tablet at all. And it's weird because when the amateurs hear that, they're like, "What?" It's like, yeah, so many of the pros. But then, you know, if you could give them a 32-inch Intuos, they'd love it. They'd absolutely love that. But it's more the fact that they want the size, they just don't want a screen. For me personally, I've got so used to the screen size. But I'm a weird one in the fact that I don't have external monitors. So many other people have external monitors as well as their Cintiqs. I don't have that. I've been thinking about it, but nah, I don't have any yet. But now that I'm live streaming, I know this hasn't gone well because I'm not sat here drawing, and I should be drawing. But the Windows thing has just struck me in the middle of this live stream, so I had to stop. But yeah. So I don't. It's not weird that you can't do it. A lot of people can't do it. But I think practicing, because it's better for some things than for others. It's horses for courses. It depends what you like. It depends what kind of art you do. It's up to you completely. But some people like it. Anna asks what happens. Hi Scott. Anna asks what happened. Do you mean to the live stream, or are you talking about my back, or what do you mean? KR, I'm just going to refer to you as KR, sorry. You know I can't pronounce this. Asked, I've been saving for the Cintiq Pro 24. Now that I know it has an engine to it, I'm also saving for that. In your personal opinion, would you say the improvements in pen pressure and parallax? Well, it has the same pen pressure and parallax as your mobile studio. Well, it has the same pen pressure as your mobile studio because it has the same pen as your mobile studio. You already have that pen. Yeah, you have the mobile studio 2, so that means you have the Pro Pen 2. So you already have the exact same. Yeah, you already have the same pen. That pen can be used on that tablet, and so on. As for parallax, yes, it does have better parallax, but that's the screen, not the pen. I really enjoyed the parallax on it, and that was absolutely great from corner to corner. I think parallax is something that the only people who really worry about that are the people who really go looking for that, and they've got their head kind of shoved on the screen and they're like, after about 2 days, you're not looking at it, you don't care about it. I mean, it's like when you first get your mobile studio, you're looking at the parallax going, and then after a week you're just drawing on it. Your mind and the tablet and your eyes all work together. So, you know, but the parallax on it is better. It's about 1 millimeter, you know, and you barely notice it, you know, it's barely visible anyway, but yeah, you don't notice it. Even on tablets with really, really thick parallax that is awful, you know, and you kind of go, oh god, no, parallax. After a couple of hours working on it, your brain kind of filters out the parallax of it. I think the only people who really kick off about parallax are the people who kind of complain about, I don't know, the fact that they change the fonts on chocolate bars. It's just like, great, but what does it ultimately matter? As long as you can use the device, you know. In the long term, it's not one of those things that's ever going to stop you using it. It doesn't really throw you out of it. Not when you get so so fine anyway. You know, it's like the thickness of your phone. There's no real difference between, you know, 0 point something and 0 point something else. We on all Wacom tablets and all decent drawing tablets, we're down to a point now where parallax is so fine. It's a null point now, I think. You know, unless it's actually problematic, they're all good. You know, unless it's some of those really cheap brands where you really can see it. And I know we've seen some awful shots on some cheaper brands where they show you it from the side and it's just, it looks huge. But when you're drawing on it, is it really an issue? I think some people like to make bigger issues out of these things than they actually are a lot of the time. I think when you're talking about comparisons, it's a fair enough point to bring up, but yeah. Does the Wacom pen pressure feel any different from the previous version? If you mean the previous version, does the Pro Pen 2 feel any different from the Pro Pen 1? Yes, but you really have to... One, you have to use an application that will properly register and respond to it. And that's the same on all devices. You know, you have to use applications that can fully utilize it. Like Painter and Photoshop can utilize 8,000 levels of pressure. But then you might go using another application that can only register kind of 4,000 levels of pressure. So you wouldn't, you wouldn't notice it then. You know, most applications, decent applications can. You know, some of them can register up to like 20,000 levels of pressure. So it's way overkill. So when Wacom bring out a new stylus, they'll be absolutely fine. But from what I gather, you know, that might be the next jump in technology for styluses. You know, you're talking 20,000 levels of pressure for, you know, stylus technology. You know, we're expecting to go kind of that level of highness. We're not expecting like 8,000 to 10,000. You know, we're expecting 8,000, then the next jump's going to be 20. That would be awesome to see that. But that's guesstimation. That's not me trying to put out, you know, something I've heard. This is tech speculation. But yeah, you can feel the difference, but you kind of have to, this is, you know, when you start there kind of doing little tests and things like that. In day-to-day drawing, probably wouldn't noticeably recognise it. You'd see it in the finished painting, but you wouldn't notice it while you're working. But it's certainly something I'd, you know, want. Certainly something I'd pay money for. Do you still need the art pen for brush tilt and rotation? Well, the Pro Pen 2 picks up tilt and rotation. But yeah, I mean the art pen works in a different way. So it depends whether you want to get that and just, you know, use that for different things. Kaya wants to rephrase her question. Is the difference in parallax and pressure so drastic that it's worth the decrease in screen size and the difference in price? Well, like I say, the pressure is the same. You're getting the exact same pressure, 8,000. The difference in parallax, I mean, you're getting less parallax, but I'd say, for me personally, no. The interesting thing is that the matte screen type is different. The texture quality of the screen is different. The Cintiq Pro 24 and 32 have a slightly smoother screen type than the Mobile Studio. I don't know if that concerns you at all. That's something to think about. For me, though, a bigger screen is always better. So that really might just be the deciding factor for you. But yeah, they're the main key points to consider. You know, do you do long sweeping brush strokes? Are you a small detailed worker? Do you need a lot of room for the palettes for the application that you work in? If you work in something like Painter, then you know you have a lot of palettes. If you work in something like Sketchable, then you virtually have no palettes. So you have a lot of open room on a 16-inch tablet. I mean, I haven't seen your artwork. The only thing I can go on is your avatar, which looks like you don't do a lot of highly detailed artwork. A 16-inch tablet might be large enough for you, but that's just a wild assumption on my part. So, oh, thank you, Anna. I'm glad you like that artwork. The one right behind me, this one is one of the book covers of mine that I've done. That one there, ooh, where's my finger going? That one there, my finger can't do this. That one there is a signed Adam Hughes print. Those two there are signed, but I can't remember the name of the artist. And those little ones down the side there are all mine as well. That's a book cover. That was personal piece. Those two are personal pieces, in fact. That one that you can't see there is a painting of Disney World, Florida. That is Aragorn's sword. And that's the Enterprise in yellow, because I had the Canon yellow spray paint and a Voyager in red over there. Bye, iCred. Hope that helped a bit. That's really bad of me. I can't remember the name of that book. Oh dear. I do so many book covers, and yeah, I can't remember the name of the book off the top of my head. Yeah. I'm really bad. But just happens sometimes. I'm really bad with names. Because of my epilepsy, I just don't try and remember names that often. Just comes in and my brain just goes, don't even try and remember it, so it just sails out the other side. All part of just being perfectly zen about things. That's why I didn't let the fact that I couldn't draw on this live stream bother me. You know, I just turned it into a video chat instead. What can you do? I've got it written down. It's all on my files. I'll probably remember that and a buttload of other stuff, you know, in about an hour's time. Anna says, I think you should do a painting of a sword, of the sword with the character of yourself. I've been thinking lately of trying to do less for personal paintings anyway, not for commission stuff, but for personal stuff. I've been thinking of doing less fantasy and sci-fi stuff and trying to do more portrait stuff, just for my own portfolio. Because what I want to do is just have more variations in my portfolio, and I'd quite like some nice austere portraits in my portfolio. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Maybe less fantasy ones, because whenever I do a personal piece and I start off with a portrait, it ends up going wildly fantasy because it's fun. But I think, you know, maybe do some nice austere ones. Might be very cool. So, and I do, you know, kind of paint my son a lot as well when I'm just drawing for fun, which is always nice, and you know, they'll be great to look back on. But oh, thank you, Walk. I'm glad my videos have been inspiration for you. If there's anything, you know, you want me to, if there's anything you'd like me to draw, because when I do my kind of speed paintings, especially when I'm doing kind of reviews and stuff, you know, I'm always looking for ideas for things to draw. So if ever people want to drop me a line and give me ideas, then you can always tweet me, you know, and just say, hey, we want to see stuff like this, and you know, hey, how about you draw something like this? I'm always open to that. You know, you can always tweet me. That'd be very cool. And you can always super chat me too. A Landmaster from Domination Alley. I'm not sure I know what that is. I will probably have to Google that, yeah. I would probably have to Google that. In fact, can I copy and paste from my chat? I really hope this, you know, I'm just gonna Google this, but let's see what happens. Oh, that's quite cool. That's quite cool. It you know, Domination Alley sounded like it could have been something very, very different. Anna, how long have you been drawing digitally? As long as digital art's been around, really. You know, like I said earlier, my first digital drawing tablet was 2" by 2". And that was when I was still at school. So, almost 30 years. You know, and that was with that was Windows Paint, and then Corel Draw, and then when I went to college, Photoshop. And I remember like, wow, we've got like Photoshop free. And I remember being excited a new Photoshop came out. You know. And somewhere kicking around I've still got Illustrator 1 on CD. Oh, Illustrator 2 I think it is. Is it on CD or is it on... Might be on floppies. I can't remember. But, yeah. It's weird because I was doing some work with the team from Adobe. I was on a conference call and I was giving them some, you know, I was giving some help with Photoshop, and on the conference call we were just wrapping up, and I got called a valuable member of the team. I could hear my neck going then. But yeah, I got called a valuable member of the team, and I was like a small child, because, you know, here's this product, Photoshop, that I've been using since I was a teenager, and the people who make it have just called me a valuable member of the team. You know, it's like, so, you know, and I do, like, you know, I've got my Corel Painter Master title, you know, and I've been using that. Well, I've been using Corel products since I was at school. So yeah, you know, I do all this stuff, but, you know, there's some form of recognition for it. Wouldn't say it's monetary, but there's some form of recognition for it, so it's good. On the wall is the Wacom drawing tablet that I had from the kind of 97-ish era. It's not the one that I had, but it's the same model as the one that I had from about 97. It's the one that I unboxed in the video on YouTube, but it's the exact same model. I love that drawing tablet to bits. It's the UDR 12-inch drawing tablet, no screen. And I love that thing to bits, and it was cool. I think I pretty much trashed it, you know, and I'm not sure what happened to it in the end. I think I gave it to a friend when I upgraded and got a better tablet. I think the tablet that I moved on to after that was, I can't remember which one it was, but it was an Intuos. But yeah, that back in the day was a great tablet. I think I had to stop using that purely because it was a round parallel port, and I upgraded my computer and couldn't use anything with a round parallel port. Monochromast, he's 31 years old and has enough money saved up to take a year off of work to study drawing and painting. Do you think it's a good idea, or should I stay at work and draw on my time off? Can't decide. Okay, I'll tell you a little story. I had a full-time job working as an art director in advertising. I was, well, I say art director, I was creative director, which meant, it sounds cool, creative director. Basically meant I took shit in the ass whenever somebody else screwed up. No, it was a good job. I liked my job. I liked, you know, long lunches, beers. Yeah, I was a team leader, you know, a boss, whatever. It was good, but the trouble it was for me that there was too much office politics. There was too much kind of infighting and squabbling that didn't have to exist. But the trouble was everybody wanted to climb the ladder as high as they could, and I was never interested in any of that. I just wanted to, like, do the best job I could and, you know, make cool creative stuff. I just wanted to make awesome creative, you know, art and advertising, and yeah, you know, we just came up with cool ideas and made them. And that's all I cared about. But politics always reared its ugly head. And if you notice something on the channel, I don't talk politics. That's like one of my few hard and fast rules. Do not talk politics. But yeah, office politics always reared its head, and I hated that. And I decided, after like so many backstabbings that went on there, that it was time for me to leave. And I decided I wanted to go freelance and just work for myself. Now, I could have quit then and there, and there were a few times that I thought about it, but I decided not to. I decided what to do was I would save X amount of money, and once I had that, I would get out and leave. So what I did, I found myself an agent, started working, and worked towards the goal of this amount of money. A year later, a full year later, I had saved the amount of money I needed. I had built up a decent enough client base, still with that agent as well. So I had everything I needed. My new business was doing alright, and I was okay to leave. But I'd spent that year working effectively 2 jobs at once. I was kind of like, oh, and nobody at my job knew that this is what I was doing. Nobody at work knew that I was working 2 jobs, you know, even though I was kind of sneaking out of work to make phone calls and take phone calls, you know. I think people kind of suspected something was up, but nobody said anything to me because I was a creative director, and you know, nobody wanted to kind of rustle me up because I was, you know, a grumpy old git, and I really was grumpier back then. So yeah, it's one of those things, you know, nobody suspected, but I was working 2 jobs at once, really, working for myself and working for other people as well. And that's kind of what happened. So yeah, it wasn't any fun, but I worked 2 jobs for an entire year, and by the end of it I had enough money and enough set up to kind of just say to my boss, can I have a word with you? Just meeting. Yeah, sure. Went to the bar next door and I said, I quit. Why? Because I hate this place. I hate everything about it. I don't like any of the people. Don't like politics. I'm off. Without blinking, she went bang, another 5 grand on the table if you stay. Stupidly, I agreed to work 2 months' notice rather than 1. I sat there for that entire extra month, being even more grumpy. But when I walked out that door, I walked out that door with a smile on my face. That said, I've never been happier than working for myself. If you want to quit and go to college, do it. Make yourself happy. But what's the outcome after college? What are you going to do when you leave college? It's a finite thing. A year passes in the blink of an eye. Jobs aren't as easy to come by as you think. Do you have a wife and kids, or are you just, I mean, I don't know how old you are, you know. It's one of those things, you know. I don't know what your situation is. If you have a wife and kids and that, I'd say, yeah, maybe not. But if you're only, you know, if it's only you, then, you know, live your dreams before it's too late, man. You're 31. There's a big difference between 31 and 41. What do you want to do once you've got this wonderful miracle education? Do you want to run off to Hollywood and work as a concept artist? Work in the games industry? What is this education going to get you? Yeah, I'm just looking at the chat now. Walk has said the same thing. What's your plan after the year? I mean, if this is just to experience an art education, then by all means. You might be one of these crazy nutters who can just, boom, I just want to live the dream for a year. I love that. I would, yeah. But you say you saved the money, so I'm guessing not. I'm guessing this is because you want to change your career and live the life that you've always wanted to live. For me, it's like recently I've been thinking about taking on students myself. You know, I was thinking about offering portfolio reviews and thinking about taking on some private students, primarily because I think universities are so expensive, can be a waste of money, don't offer you one-on-one tuition. You know, they're kind of, universities are taking on bigger and bigger classes all the time, whereas they used to take on like 20 students, then they started taking on 30 students, then they started taking on 40 students a semester. So students aren't really getting taught, they're teaching each other now because they're in such large classes, and the fees they charge are phenomenal. You know, students are ending up in ridiculous amounts of debt, whereas somebody like me could take on 3 students, you know, and teach them individually, and I'd benefit by charging them a smaller amount. You know, I'd probably come out of it quite nicely, and they'd come out of it with a lot more education, and, you know, no debt at all. It just makes more sense all round. I was thinking of talking to a couple of other artists about this idea, and I know there are similar artists out there through the bit of research I've already done who are already doing similar things. So oh, let's have a look. Walk says he's 58 and works in an office. Painting and drawing is just a hobby. Yeah, I can agree to the retirement thing. Unfortunately, being a digital artist, well, being an artist, yeah, I just never thought about retirement. I don't think I'm ever gonna retire. It's weird. I see retirement as something other people do, not me. I don't think artists get to retire. I think we just keep drawing. I think that's the same for some people in all businesses, though. Certain types of businesses never retire. We just keep going. Yeah, I like Aaron's stuff. I would consider getting in touch with him. His channel's so big, though. You know, would he even talk to a guy like me? I mean, our styles are so wildly different as well. But that's maybe what would make it good, talking to him. Hi Joe, how you doing? Yeah, I think... Yeah, if art is your passion and you'd like to make money at it, then there's no reason not to go for it. I think... You know, I'm not trying to talk you into, you know, what you should do and what you shouldn't do. I just think, you know, you've looked into this already. So give us some ideas, Monochrome, of how much money... I'm not saying how much have you saved. I don't want to... I'm not asking for financial details. How much has the... How much is the art college for a year, let's say? That would be good to know. How much have they said? It'd be a year. Thank you, Anna. I would, you know, I've given it some thought and I have looked into it a bit. You know, I was looking into doing at first just portfolio reviews and that, and helping people kind of get their portfolios up to scratch. But then I thought, yeah, I could, you know, I know there are some artists doing proper tuition, and I thought, well, I could just take on a couple of students and actually help. You know, I thought that might be good. Nothing too over the top, but yeah. Hey James. See you later, Walk. $99 a month. That's interesting. See you later, Eric. Well, I think that'd give me something to think about. I'd definitely have a look into that. Okay, I think I'm going to wrap this up for now, because it looks like the feed is going a bit laggy, and after all the problems I've had here, it's not going to get better, is it? I think, Monochrome, I think I'll have a chat with you later on, if you don't mind. I think, you know, yeah, send me a message or something. I'm happy to chat with you about this, over a message. Maybe give you some advice on this. Yeah. Sorry, James. I know you just come in. I think I've been around for about an hour now, but yeah, I started drawing and then I had some driver issues thanks to Microsoft that I thought were solved, but it seems now I'd have to do a restart if I wanted to do some drawing. So I just carried on, did this as a chat. What I'll do is maybe later tonight I'll come back and do another live stream, or one day through the week, but it looks like live stream is more of a possibility for me now, so I will be doing a lot more live streams a lot more often from now on, hopefully with a lot more drawing as well. Even though this one wasn't a complete success, it was definitely some kind of a success. So yeah, I will be doing a lot more live streams from now on. Hopefully, at least, you know, hopefully I'll be doing once a week. So thanks everybody for watching. Hopefully next time you will see me draw. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that normal jazz. If anybody wants to get in touch, send me a message. I'm always around on Twitter, sometimes around on Facebook, but not really much. Take care, guys. I will see you later. I'm off to go watch absolute trash on Facebook, on YouTube, and message a couple of people on Facebook and find something to eat. You all have an absolute great day, and yeah, I'll see you guys later. I have no way of knowing how to stop the stream. New piece of software. I'll figure it out. See you guys later. Bye.